In the heartbeat between life and death, Corporal James McKinley learned that aliens bleed blue. The revelation came not from scientific observation but from the visceral spray that now coated his combat fatigues. 36 hours earlier, he had been planning his sister's wedding. Now, he was fighting to ensure humanity had any weddings left to plan. The setting sun painted Seattle's broken skyline in shades of blood and gold, a fitting backdrop to humanity's desperate stand. Where the Space Needle once pierced the sky, only a twisted metal skeleton remained, a monument to the day the Shikari decided Earth would become their hunting ground. Through thermal-enhanced optics, the alien scout watched McKinley's 15-man patrol with predatory patience. His four-legged frame, massive and sleek beneath crystalline armor, remained motionless atop the crumbling remains of what humans once called the Columbia Center. The scout's body thrummed with anticipation, his biological systems synchronized with the neural interface of his battleware. Each heartbeat sent waves of excitement through his enhanced nervous system, a sensation his kind had evolved over millennia of hunting across the stars. The memories of his home world's vast oceans flooded his consciousness, endless waters where his ancestors had perfected the art of pack hunting. But the Shikari had long since outgrown mere planetary confines. The void between stars had become their domain, each new world a fresh hunting ground. Earth, with its teeming billions, had promised the greatest hunt in their species' history. Lieutenant Ami's voice crackled through McKinley's earpiece, barely above a whisper. Movement, 2 o'clock, upper floors. The patrol froze, weapons trained on broken windows that gaped like hungry mouths in the fading light. Private Gabriel's hands trembled on his M4, the bayonet attachment glinting dully. They had learned the hard way that standard ammunition merely annoyed their hunters. High above, the scout's neural interface pulsed with incoming data from his pack. 12 Shikari warriors converged on the human patrol's position, their movements coordinated through quantum-length battle networks. The hunt was about to begin, but something was different. The prey had changed over the past 30 light cycles. They had learned, adapted, evolved from mere quarry into something more dangerous. The scout's attention fixed on McKinley, identifying him as the patrol's patriarch. There was something in the human's stance, a predatory awareness that seemed almost Shikari. For the first time in his hunting career, the scout felt an emotion he couldn't quite identify. Was it doubt? Or perhaps respect? A young Shikari warrior, eager for glory, shifted position too quickly. Sunlight caught his armor's edge, a momentary flash that triggered an immediate response from the humans below. The air erupted with the crack of gunfire and the distinctive whine of energy weapons. The hunt had begun, but this time, both sides knew they were fighting for survival. McKinley's world narrowed to the space between heartbeats as he shouted orders, his voice steady despite the chaos erupting around him. The patrol moved with practiced precision, taking positions that would have made their drill instructors proud. They had learned that survival against the Shikari meant becoming predators themselves. Above them all, Seattle's ruins watched in silence as humanity's desperate fight for survival collided with an ancient species tradition of the hunt. The story of who would emerge victorious would be written in both red and blue blood across the broken streets of a dying city. The first Shikari died screaming, its alien cry echoing off concrete and steel as Private Gabriel's bayonet found the sweet spot between armor plates. The blue blood that sprayed across his face was hot, almost scalding, but Gabriel didn't flinch. 6 months of brutal combat had turned the former barista into something else entirely. Something that could look into those feline eyes and twist the blade deeper. Contact front! McKinley's voice cut through the chaos. Diamond formation, move! The patrol shifted like a single organism, years of training merging with months of desperate survival. They had learned that tight formations meant death against the Shikari, spread out, but not too far, close enough to support, far enough to avoid becoming a single target. From his perch, the scout's neural interface painted targeting solutions across his vision. The humans moved differently now, not like the panicked herds of the early invasion. Their movements spoke of experience, of lessons written in blood and death. He watched as another young Shikari warrior charged forward, drunk on bloodlust and ancient instincts. The human patriarch, McKinley, didn't even raise his weapon. He simply shifted slightly, allowing Private Craigson a clear line of fire with the squad's M32 grenade launcher. The explosion turned the charging Shikari into a blue mist. Its armor, designed to deflect energy weapons and resist projectiles, provided no protection against the sheer concussive force. The scout's spines bristled beneath his armor. These prey had learned to think like predators. Lieutenant Amir moved with the grace of a dancer, his years of parkour training finding deadly purpose as he vaulted over a destroyed car. Two Shikari emerged from an alleyway, their massive frames moving with liquid grace. Amir's rifle barked 3 times, purposefully aimed shots that pinged harmlessly off alien armor. But he wasn't trying to kill. He was baiting them. "Now!" he shouted. Private Dolan emerged from behind a concrete pillar, wielding the squad's sole plasma cutter, salvaged from a construction site and modified with stolen Shikari power cells. The beam of superheated energy caught the first alien in its unprotected flank. The Shikari's armor, designed to disperse energy weapons, couldn't handle the crude, sustained blast. The alien warrior collapsed, its insides boiling. The second Shikari leaped, covering 20 feet in a single bound, its claws extended, seeking Dolan's throat. But the hunter had become the hunted. McKinley stepped out, his rifle's barrel pressed against the alien's eye slit. The round penetrated the only weak point in the otherwise impenetrable armor. The massive body crashed to the ground, momentum carrying it past Dolan in a spray of blue gore. High above, the scout's blood ran cold. This was wrong. The hunt was supposed to be glorious, ordained by centuries of tradition. Instead, he watched as his pack was being systematically destroyed by prey that had learned to think like predators. His neural interface pulsed with desperate signals from his remaining warriors. They needed to regroup, to adapt their tactics. But adaptation was a two-way street. As the scout prepared to signal a retreat, a glint of metal caught his eye. Too late, he recognized the shape of a Barrett M82 anti-material rifle, salvaged from a military convoy and modified with Shikari optical technology. Private Gabriel had spotted him. The heavy round struck the scout's armor at precisely the right angle, shattering the crystalline matrix. The impact sent him tumbling from his perch, his enhanced nervous system screaming with pain. As he fell, his neural interface captured the image of McKinley's patrol, moving with predatory grace toward his position. The last thing the scout saw before darkness claimed him was the human patriarch's face. There was no joy there, no bloodlust. Only the cold, calculating look of a survivor who had learned that in this new world the line between predator and prey was drawn in blood, both red and blue. Lieutenant Amir knelt beside the fallen scout, his blade ready. "We should take its head. Send a message." McKinley shook his head. "No, we're not them. Secure the tech. Doc, check if any of that anatomy research helps us keep it alive. We need intel." Above them, Seattle's ruined towers stood silent, witnesses to humanity's evolution from prey to something far more dangerous, a species that had learned to hunt the hunters. The captured scout's neural interface hummed with static, its quantum link to the Shikari battle network severed by the fall. Through blurred vision, he observed the humans working with methodical efficiency. Their medic, a female with steady hands and cold eyes, extracted samples of his blood while others stripped his armor, careful to preserve its technological secrets. The scout had expected torture, or a quick death. Instead, he witnessed something far more terrifying: scientific curiosity. "Pulse is steady, if we can call it that," the medic reported, her fingers pressed against an arterial point the Shikari hadn't known humans had discovered. 3 distinct heart chambers, each beating in sequence. Fascinating. McKinley kept his rifle trained on the scout while supervising the impromptu field research. The afternoon sun had given way to dusk, casting long shadows through the broken windows of their temporary shelter, a former bank vault, whose walls could withstand even Shikari energy weapons. "Gabriel, status on that neural tech," McKinley called out, his voice tight with controlled urgency. The former barista, now turned tech specialist, worked delicately with salvaged Shikari equipment. "It's like their entire nervous system is augmented, Corporal. The armor isn't just protection, it's an extension of their consciousness." The scout felt a new emotion: shame. Not at being captured, but at underestimating these creatures. While his kind had spent millennia perfecting the art of the hunt, humans had mastered something far more powerful: the art of adaptation. A distant explosion rocked the building. Private Craigson appeared at the vault's entrance, breathing heavily. "Multiple contacts, moving in fast. They want their boy back." McKinley's face hardened. "Time to move. Doc, you got what you need?" The medic nodded, securing vials of blue blood in her pack. "Enough for the labs to work with. This could be what we've been waiting for. The scout watched as the humans transformed again, shifting from scientists back to warriors with fluid ease. They moved with practiced precision, gathering equipment and securing positions. Through the pain and haze, he realized why his kind had failed to subjugate this world. The Shikari were apex predators, but humans were something else entirely. They were survivors. Private Dolan's voice cut through the growing darkness. Contact! They're using new tactics, moving in pairs, covering each other. They're learning too. The air filled with the distinctive whine of Shikari energy weapons. The humans responded with a combination of conventional firearms and salvaged alien technology. The scout observed their battle strategy with growing fascination. Where his kind relied on instinct and overwhelming force, these creatures employed something more subtle: adaptation and improvisation. McKinley's voice carried over the chaos, directing his team with the precision of a conductor leading a deadly orchestra. Gabriel, that neural tech operational? Yes, sir, but we don't know what it'll do. Time to find out. Doc, keep our guests stable. Everyone else, fall back to position Charlie. Let's show them how we hunt. The scout felt a surge of electricity through his neural interface. These primitive beings had not only decoded Shikari technology, but had repurposed it. Through the connection, he could sense his approaching pack, but something was wrong. The humans were using his own neural network to track them. As consciousness faded, the scout witnessed humanity's true nature. They were neither predator nor prey, but something far more dangerous, a species that could be both and neither. The last thing he heard before darkness claimed him was McKinley's voice, calm and determined. Remember, we're not just fighting for survival anymore, we're fighting for evolution. The battle that followed would change both species forever, as the line between hunter and hunted blurred into something entirely new. The vault erupted into chaos as the first wave of Shikari warriors breached the perimeter. Their massive forms moved like liquid shadow through the smoke, but McKinley's team was ready. The weeks spent studying captured neural tech had taught them to read Shikari attack patterns. Every instinctive move, every coordinated strike, all of it now predictable to eyes that had learned to see through a predator's lens. 3 o'clock high, Craigson's warning preceded a thunderous crash as a Shikari burst through the ceiling. The alien's armor gleamed with a new configuration, adaptive plating that shifted like scales. But humanity had evolved too. Marking target, Gabriel called out, his modified tablet interfacing with the captured scout's neural tech. A web of quantum data painted the attacking Shikari's weak points across everyone's tactical displays. The alien's own battle network turned against its masters. Lieutenant Amir moved with lethal grace, his blade finding the precise spot where the new armor's plates met. Blue blood painted the vault's walls as the massive creature fell, but there was no time for triumph. More were coming. The captured scout drifted in and out of consciousness, his enhanced senses picking up fragments of the battle. He watched through blurred vision as the humans moved like a single organism, each member anticipating the other's moves. Their tactics weren't just learned, they were evolved. They're adapting to our countermeasures, McKinley observed, his voice steady despite the chaos. Doc, what's the status on that biological data? The medic's fingers flew across her tablet, correlating real-time battle data with her analysis of Shikari physiology. Their neural networks operate on a quantum level. Each battle teaches them, but... She paused, a grim smile crossing her face. We're learning faster. A massive explosion rocked the vault as 2 more Shikari burst through the western wall. Their armor pulsed with energy, a new defensive system designed to counter human weapons. But McKinley had anticipated this. Humanity's greatest weapon had always been its ability to improvise. Now Gabriel. The former barista activated the reprogrammed neural interface. The quantum field that connected the Shikari pack flickered, their movements becoming erratic. For the first time in their species' history, the hunters experienced confusion. Their shared consciousness turned into a weapon against them. Private Dolan moved forward, his salvaged plasma cutter modified with components from 3 different Shikari weapons. The beam that erupted from it wasn't the focused energy of alien technology, but rather a crude, devastating burst of pure heat. The first Shikari's adaptive armor attempted to compensate, its plates shifting rapidly before melting into slag. The second alien leaped forward, its massive claws extended, but McKinley was already moving. He had studied countless hours of combat footage, learning to read the subtle shifts in Shikari muscle structure that preceded each attack. His bayonet found the exact spot where the creature's primary heart chamber lay exposed. The dying Shikari's neural link broadcasted its final moments to the entire pack. Through their quantum network, they experienced something entirely new. Fear. "They're pulling back," Craigson reported from his overwatch position. "New formation. Wait, something's different." McKinley felt it too. The air had changed, carrying with it the electric tension that preceded something momentous. The captured scout's eyes suddenly focused, his alien features displaying an emotion that needed no translation. Awe. Through the broken walls of the vault, a new sound emerged. Not the usual hunting cries of the Shikari, but something deeper, more ancient. The ground itself seemed to tremble. "Mother of God!" Gabriel whispered, his eyes fixed on his neural interface display. "The readings, they're calling in something big." McKinley's face hardened as he surveyed his team. They were bloodied, exhausted, but unbroken. Humanity had learned to hunt the hunters, but the real test was just beginning. "Lock. Secure that biological data. Gabriel, download everything you can from the neural net. Everyone else, prepare for fallback to Site Omega." He paused, looking at each face in turn. "What's coming next? This isn't just another hunt. This is evolution in action." The captured scout's neural interface pulsed one final time before failing completely, but not before transmitting an image that made even McKinley's blood run cold. Something was descending from orbit, something that would change the very nature of this war. The sky above Seattle split open as something massive breached the atmosphere. It wasn't the sleek hunting vessels the Shikari typically used, but an ancient warship, its crystalline hull scarred by countless battles across the stars. The neural interface data from the captured scout revealed its name, the Worldbreaker, command vessel of the Shikari High Hunt. Multiple signatures breaking orbit, Gabriel reported, his voice tight. "They're different. Bigger. Much bigger." Through the shattered windows of their position, McKinley watched as massive forms descended on gravitational fields that distorted the very air. These weren't the regular hunters they'd learned to fight. These were apex Shikari, the elder hunters who hadn't left their ships since the early days of the invasion. "Incoming transmission," Gabriel announced, his modified equipment picking up quantum signals. "It's broadcasting on all frequencies, even the old military bands." The voice that filled their comms wasn't the usual guttural growls of the hunters. It was deeper, resonating with harmonics that made their teeth ache. "You have evolved, little prey. You have learned to hunt, but now you face the true masters of the eternal hunt." McKinley's team shared looks of grim determination. They had prepared for this, even if they hadn't known exactly what was coming. "Execute Protocol Omega," McKinley ordered. "Gabriel, transmit everything we've learned to command. Doc, that biological data might be our last hope." The massive apex Shikari landed with earth-shaking force, their armor unlike anything they'd encountered. Where the regular hunters wore functional battle wear, these ancient predators were enclosed in living metal that shifted and flowed like liquid mercury. "Fascinating," the medic whispered, her scientific curiosity overwhelming fear. "Their armor, it's biomechanical. They're not wearing it. They're bonded to it." The first apex Shikari that approached their position stood 3 times taller than its regular hunters. Its neural signature was so powerful it made their salvaged equipment spark and smoke. But humanity had one advantage the Shikari had never considered. Desperation breeds innovation. "Remember your training," McKinney said, his voice steady. "Everything we've learned about them, everything we've adapted to, it all leads to this moment. We're not just fighting for survival anymore. We're fighting for evolution itself." The apex Shikari's attack was devastating in its speed and precision. Energy weapons they'd never seen before reduced concrete to vapor, but McKinley's team had learned to read their enemies' movements, to think like predators while maintaining their human ingenuity. "Now," McKinley ordered. Gabriel activated their final countermeasure, a modified version of the Shikari's own neural network but reconfigured using human brainwave patterns. The quantum field that connected the apex hunters flickered, their movements becoming uncoordinated as their shared consciousness encountered something they'd never evolved to handle: human chaos. The battle that followed would be remembered as the moment humanity proved it wasn't just another prey species. They were something new, something that could adapt, evolve, and turn the very weapons of their hunters against them. The battle for Seattle became a dance of evolution itself. McKinley's team moved like water through the ruins, using tactics that merged human ingenuity with Shikari hunting patterns. The apex hunters, for all their ancient power, found themselves facing an enemy that refused to behave like proper prey. Multiple signatures, converging fast, Craigsson called out, his modified sensor array picking up the massive neural signatures of approaching apex Shikari. They're trying to herd us. McKinley allowed himself a grim smile. Let them think it's working. Execute pattern Delta. The team split into precisely coordinated pairs, appearing to scatter in panic. The apex Shikari followed their ancestral hunting instincts, moving to isolate and eliminate the separated prey. But this was exactly what McKinley had planned for. Lieutenant Amir and Private Gabriel disappeared into a partially collapsed office building, their footsteps deliberately heavy. Two apex hunters followed, their massive forms barely fitting through the human-sized doorways. The hunters' neural networks blazed with triumph until they realized their prey had led them into a trap. Initiating quantum disruption, Gabriel announced calmly, activating the device they'd built from salvaged Shikari tech. The building's steel framework, wrapped with modified neural interfaces, created a feedback loop that turned the hunters' own shared consciousness against them. The apex Shikari staggered, their biomechanical armor rippling in confusion. Amir struck with surgical precision, his plasma-enhanced blade finding the microscopic gaps in their living metal that the doc's research had revealed. Blue blood, darker and thicker than regular Shikari blood, painted the walls. Across the battlefield, McKinley led the largest apex hunter through a carefully planned route. The ancient predator's armor pulsed with power, each step leaving molten footprints in the concrete. But it failed to notice how the humans had shaped the very battlefield itself. "Ready, Doc!" McKinley's voice was steady despite the thundering footsteps behind him. "Neural transmitters in position," she confirmed from her hidden location. "The biological data suggests their quantum connection has a critical resonance frequency. If we time this right..." The massive apex hunter rounded the final corner, its neural signature overwhelming their senses. McKinley turned to face it, standing his ground as the ancient predator loomed over him. The creature's biomechanical armor rippled, preparing for the kill. "Now!" McKinley ordered. Every piece of salvaged Shikari tech they'd planted around the area activated simultaneously, creating a quantum interference pattern that matched the exact frequency of the apex hunter's neural network. The effect was devastating. The ancient predator's living armor convulsed, its connection to the shared consciousness shattered for the first time in millennia. In that moment of confusion, humanity struck. Coordinated plasma fire from multiple positions found the weaknesses in the living metal. The mighty hunter fell, its ancient consciousness experiencing something it had never known: defeat at the hands of prey. Above them, the Worldbreaker's massive form shifted, its crystalline hull reflecting the fires of battle. The voice of the Shikari high hunt filled their comms again, but this time there was something new in its harmonics: uncertainty. "You have become something new," the ancient voice resonated. "Neither predator nor prey, but something unprecedented." McKinley stood over the fallen apex hunter, his team regrouping around him. The battle wasn't over, it was evolving into something else entirely. Humanity had proven itself more than just survivors or adapted hunters. They had become evolution's answer to the eternal hunt. The Worldbreaker's crystalline hull shimmered with new energy patterns, its ancient weapons powering up. But McKinley's team had one final card to play, one that would challenge everything the Shikari believed about the nature of predator and prey. "Doc, initiate the final sequence," McKinley ordered, his voice carrying the weight of humanity's desperate gambit. The medic's fingers flew across her modified Shikari interface. The captured scouts' neural data had given them more than just tactical advantages. It had revealed the fundamental flaw in the Shikari's evolutionary path. Their rigid adherence to the hunt had made them predictable. "You believe you understand the hunt," McKinley broadcast, using the quantum frequencies they decoded. "But you've forgotten its true purpose. Evolution isn't about being the perfect predator, it's about adaptation." The remaining apex hunters surrounded their position, their living armor pulsing with ancient power. But something had changed in their movements. The humans' ability to not just fight back, but to understand and repurpose Shikari technology had shaken their certainty. Gabrielle's modified neural interface hummed to life, projecting the data they'd gathered directly into the Shikari battle network. Centuries of human scientific advancement merged with stolen alien technology created something new, a bridge between species. "Look!" McKinley commanded, and through their shared neural link, the Shikari saw humanity's history, not just their battles, but their constant evolution. From prey to predator to farmer to builder to explorer. Each step marked not by perfection of the hunt, but by the ability to change, to become something new. The World Breakers' weapons powered down as the Shikari High Hunt processed this revelation. Their species had spent millennia perfecting the art of hunting, becoming the apex predators of the galaxy. But in doing so, they had stopped evolving. "Your hunt has led you here," McKinley continued, "not to claim trophies, but to find worthy successors. We're not your prey, we're your legacy." The captured scouts, still connected to their network, suddenly understood. Every world the Shikari had hunted had either perished or submitted. Humanity alone had adapted, had learned, had evolved to match them. The hunt wasn't about killing, it was about finding those worthy of inheriting the stars. The apex hunters lowered their weapons, their living armor resonating with a new frequency. The voice of the High Hunt spoke again, but this time without the harmonics of command. "In all our hunting across the stars, we sought those who could become more than prey. You have shown us that evolution's greatest weapon is not the ability to kill, but the ability to change." And McKinley stood with his team as dawn broke over Seattle's ruins. The World Breaker's hull shifted, transforming from a weapon of war into something else, a bridge between two species that had both forgotten the true meaning of evolution. "Tell me," McKinley asked, "shall we hunt together?" The answer would reshape not just Earth or the Shikari Empire, but the very nature of life among the stars. For in that moment, both species began to evolve into something entirely new. The first rays of morning light pierced through Seattle's smoke-filled sky, casting long shadows across the battlefield where predator and prey had transcended their ancient roles. The World Breaker hung above them, its crystalline structure now pulsing with colors never before seen by human eyes, the traditional signal of a hunt's completion. "The neural patterns are stabilizing," Gabriel reported, watching as human and Shikari quantum signatures began to synchronize. "It's like they're teaching us, and we're teaching them." The apex hunters moved with new purpose, their living armor adapting to accommodate communication with humans rather than combat. The largest among them, bearing marks of countless hunts across its biomechanical shell, approached McKinley's team. "For millennia we sought perfection through the hunt." Its voice resonated through their neural link. "But you have shown us that perfection is stagnation. True evolution requires change." The medic's instruments recorded everything as human and Shikari neural patterns intertwined. Their entire social structure was built around hunting, she explained, excitement overriding exhaustion. But they didn't realize they were actually searching for species capable of matching them, of forcing them to evolve. McKinley watched as more Shikari vessels descended from orbit, not as invasion craft but as carriers of knowledge. Each ship contained centuries of technological advancement, biological understanding, and cosmic exploration data. In exchange, humanity offered something the Shikari had lost: innovation, adaptability, and the chaos that drives evolution. "Your weapons," the apex hunter observed, studying the hybrid technology McKinley's team had created. "They are imperfect, crude by our standards, yet they achieved what our perfected tools could not. They evolved." Lieutenant Amir, still gripping his plasma-hensed blade, stepped forward. "Because we had to adapt. Every time you changed your tactics, we changed ours. Every piece of technology we captured, we modified. We couldn't afford to stay the same." The World Breaker's hull shifted again, opening to reveal chambers that merged Shikari and human design principles. The ancient hunting vessel was transforming into something new, a living symbol of two species' combined evolution. "The stars hold many dangers," the High Hunt's voice echoed through their neural link. "We sought to perfect ourselves against them through the hunt, but you have shown us a better way. Together we will neither hunt nor hide, we will adapt, we will evolve." Private Dolan, examining a piece of living metal that had begun responding to his touch, looked up with wonder. "So, what happens now?" McKinley stepped forward, standing between his team and the apex hunters. Through their shared neural connection, he could feel both species' excitement at the possibilities ahead. "Now," he said, We hunt knowledge instead of trophies. We explore instead of conquer. We become something new. The sun climbed higher over Seattle, its light reflecting off the crystalline hulls of Shikari vessels and the broken windows of human buildings. Below, two species that had started as predator and prey began the complex dance of becoming something more, partners in the greatest hunt of all, the search for evolution itself. The transformation began immediately, as instinct and innovation merged into something unprecedented. The ruins of Seattle became the first proving ground of this new alliance, where Shikari hunting prowess met human ingenuity in ways neither species had imagined possible. Their neural technology was designed for coordinated hunting, Gabriel explained, his hands moving across a hybrid interface that pulsed with both quantum signatures and human digital code. But, combined with our creativity, it's becoming something entirely different. The first visible sign of change came from the Shikari's living armor. Where once it had been purely defensive, now it responded to human brainwave patterns, adapting to accommodate human physiology. McKinley watched as the medic worked alongside an apex hunter, their combined knowledge creating interfaces that could enhance both species' natural abilities. The armor isn't just protection anymore, the medic observed, recording as living metal flowed around a human volunteer's arm. It's becoming a bridge between our nervous systems and their quantum network. We're not just wearing their technology, we're evolving with it. Above them, the World Breaker had become a symbol of their transformation. Its crystalline chambers now housed laboratories where human scientists worked alongside Shikari engineers, each learning from the other's approach. The ship itself seemed to pulse with new energy patterns, adapting to serve its new dual purpose. "Your cities?" the FX hunter commented, studying the ruins around them. They were not built for defense or hunting, yet they adapted to become battlegrounds. Like you, they changed their purpose. McKinley nodded, understanding flowing through their shared neural link. That's what humans do. We take what exists and reshape it into what we need. Nothing stays the same. The first joint hunting party assembled at dusk, not to seek trophies, but to test their combined capabilities. Humans moved with new grace, their movements enhanced by modified Shikari armor, while the hunters had learned to incorporate human tactical flexibility into their ancient hunting patterns. "Contact," Craigson's voice came through their Neuralink, no longer needing conventional radio. "Unknown signature at the edge of the solar system. Not Shikari, not human." The High Hunt's voice resonated through their shared consciousness. "The galaxy holds many predators. Some hunt for sport, like we once did. Others hunt for darker purposes. Are you ready to face them together?" McKinley looked at his team, now a seamless blend of human and Shikari capabilities. Through their neural link, he felt their readiness, their excitement at the challenges ahead. They were no longer prey becoming predators. They were something entirely new. "We hunt," McKinley declared, feeling the words resonate through both species' consciousness. "Not for trophies or territory, but for knowledge, for evolution, for the future." The World Breaker's engines hummed to life, its crystalline hull now reflecting both Earth's sunset and the promise of distant stars. Humanity's first steps into the galaxy would not be as conquerors or refugees, but as partners in the greatest hunt of all, the endless pursuit of evolution itself. The unknown signature grew stronger as the World Breaker pushed through the solar system's outer boundary. In the ship's newly configured command center, human intuition merged with Shikari hunting instincts as they tracked their quarry. "The neural pattern is chaotic," Gabriel reported, his consciousness now seamlessly linked with the ship's quantum sensors. "It's like nothing in either of our databases." McKinley stood at the forward observation chamber, his enhanced vision piercing the void. The modified Shikari armor he wore had become a second skin, responding to his thoughts with an efficiency that still amazed him. Through their shared neural network, he felt the excitement of both species, the hunter's ancestral thrill of pursuit, tempered by human caution. "Multiple signatures now," the medic announced, her hybrid interface displaying patterns that merged biological and quantum data. "They're using some form of biotechnological camouflage, similar to Shikari tech, but corrupted somehow." The apex hunter beside McKinley shifted, its living armor rippling with ancient recognition. "We have encountered such beings before, in the early days of our expansion. They do not hunt for evolution or sustenance. They hunt for consumption," McKinley finished, the shared neural link allowing him to access memories that weren't his own. "They don't want to kill or evolve. They want to absorb. The World Breaker's crystalline hull adapted to their combined response, its weapon systems reconfiguring to accommodate both Shikari precision and human unpredictability. Through the neural network, McKinley felt his team spreading throughout the vessel, each finding their role in this new kind of hunt. "They're changing course," Craigson reported, his military training enhanced by Shikari hunting instincts. "Moving toward the inner system, toward Earth." The High Hunt's voice resonated through their shared consciousness. "Now we shall see what our evolution has created. Two species, once predator and prey, hunting as one." McKinley felt the ship's energy surge as both human and Shikari crews synchronized their responses. The World Breaker wasn't just a vessel anymore, it had become a manifestation of their combined evolution, responding to both species' strengths. "Hell Hunters," McKinley commanded, feeling his words translate simultaneously into human language and Shikari neural patterns. "Prepare for engagement. We're not just defending territory now, we're protecting evolution itself." The unknown entities ahead began to take form. Massive, shifting structures that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions at once. But where once humanity would have faced such horrors alone, and the Shikari would have relied solely on their hunting prowess, now they moved as something new, a species that combined the best of both. The hunt was about to begin, but this time its purpose was neither sport nor survival. It was about proving that evolution's greatest achievement wasn't the perfection of predator or prey, but the ability to become something more than either. The void between Mars and Jupiter erupted with energy as the World Breaker engaged its quarry. The unknown entities revealed themselves fully, massive, crystalline structures that seemed to fold through dimensions, their surfaces reflecting distorted versions of reality itself. "Multiple attack vectors," Craigson called through the neural net, his consciousness merged with the ship's tactical systems. "They're trying to surround us, but their movement patterns, they're adapting to our presence." McKinley felt the ship's living metal respond to both human and Shikari commands. The hybrid crew moved with unprecedented synchronization, their combined instincts creating battle strategies that neither species could have conceived alone. "Energy spike!" Gabriel's warning came simultaneously through voice and neural link. "They're not just mimicking our technology, they're trying to corrupt it." The nearest entity launched tendrils of quantum energy that struck the World Breaker's hull, attempting to interface with its crystalline structure. But where pure Shikari technology might have been vulnerable, the hybrid systems created by their alliance responded differently. "Fascinating," the medic observed, her instruments recording the interaction. "Our neural patterns are too chaotic for them to predict. The human element in our systems is acting like a natural firewall." The Apex Hunter commanded the ship's primary weapons array, its ancient hunting instincts now augmented by human tactical analysis. They hunt by absorption, seeking perfection through consumption, but perfection is stagnation. "It were anything but stagnant," McKinley finished, initiating their first coordinated attack. The World Breaker's hull shifted, sections opening to reveal weapons that combined Shikari energy projection with human ballistic principles. The result was devastating, quantum-enhanced projectiles that carried the unpredictability of human chaos theory within their Shikari-engineered precision. Through their neural link, McKinley felt the entity's surprise. They had expected either the calculated perfection of Shikari hunting patterns or the primitive resistance of human warfare. Instead, they faced something that was constantly evolving, even during the battle itself. "They retreating," Lieutenant Amir reported from his station, where he coordinated the ship's defensive systems. "No, they're regrouping, learning." "Then we'll give them something new to learn," McKinley commanded. "Execute Pattern Omega." The World Breaker's entire structure began to transform, its hybrid systems implementing a battle strategy that had never existed before this moment. Human creativity merged with Shikari hunting prowess as the ship split into multiple attack configurations, each one operating on principles that defied the entity's ability to predict or absorb. The void filled with light as the battle entered its final phase. The unknown entities, for the first time in their ancient existence, faced an opponent that offered nothing stable to consume, nothing perfect to corrupt. Every attack they launched was met with an evolution in defense. Every pattern they learned was already changing into something new. "We are the hunters now," the High Hunt's voice resonated through their shared consciousness. "But we hunt not for trophies or territory, we hunt for the future itself." As the entities began to retreat in earnest, Mackenzie felt something profound through the neural network, a sense of possibility that neither humans nor Shikari had experienced before. They had become something more than either species had imagined possible, and this was just the beginning. The stars ahead beckoned, promising not just new hunts, but new evolutions. The predator and prey had become partners in the greatest adventure of all, the endless pursuit of what they could become. The Worldbreaker's crystalline hull hummed with residual energy as the unknown entities retreated into the depths of space. Inside the command center, human and Shikari crews processed their victory through their shared neural network, each species learning from the other's reactions to combat. Their attack patterns, the medic analyzed, her hybrid interface displaying complex quantum signatures, they were designed to exploit predictability. Every species they've encountered must have followed consistent rules of engagement. McKinley watched as the ship's living metal repaired itself, human stem cell technology merging with Shikari biomechanics to create stronger, more adaptable structures. Through their neural link, he sensed the apex hunter's growing understanding. For millennia, we perfected our hunting methods, the ancient warrior communicated. We became the ultimate predators, but in doing so, we became predictable. Your chaos saved us both. Gabrielle's modified neural interface captured everything, recording the quantum signatures of their retreating adversaries. They're broadcasting something, he reported. Not a threat, more like a warning, to others of their kind. Good, McKinley responded, feeling his words ripple through both human and Shikari consciousness. Let them warn others. Let them know that evolution hasn't finished with this galaxy yet. The Worldbreaker's sensors detected more signatures at the edge of their range, different from their recent opponents, but equally unknown. The High Hunt's voice resonated through their shared neural network. The void holds many hunters, each believing they have achieved perfection. Shall we show them the true meaning of evolution? Lieutenant Amir, his combat systems now fully integrated with Shikari hunting technology, displayed tactical projections that merged human strategy with alien instinct. Multiple vectors of approach available. Traditional Shikari tactics would suggest direct pursuit, while human military doctrine would advocate for reconnaissance. Then we'll do neither, McKinley decided. We'll do something new. The ship's hybrid crew moved with fluid efficiency as they implemented protocols that had never existed before this moment. Human adaptability merged with Shikari precision, creating battle strategies that evolved even as they were executed. Through the forward observation chamber, Earth was visible as a distant blue dot. McKinley felt both species' determination to protect it, not just as a homeworld or hunting ground, but as the birthplace of their shared evolution. We are receiving transmissions from Earth Command, Craigson reported. More hybrid crews are ready for deployment. The integration of our species is proceeding faster than anyone predicted. The Apex Hunter's living armor rippled with approval. Your cities are becoming hunting grounds again, not for death but for knowledge. Your laboratories merge with our training fields. We evolve together. McKinley felt the truth of those words through their neural connection. Humanity's greatest cities were transforming, incorporating Shikari bioarchitecture while maintaining their human unpredictability. The hunters learned to build, while humans learned to stalk the stars with ancient precision. New contact, Gabriel announced suddenly. The signature, it's like nothing either of our species has encountered. The Worldbreaker's hull shifted in response to their combined command, its weapons arrays reconfiguring for another engagement. But this time they weren't just defending or hunting, they were advancing into the galaxy as something unprecedented, a species that had transcended both predator and prey. Anal hunters, McKinley commanded, his words carrying the weight of both civilizations' hopes. Prepare for evolution. The ship surged forward into the unknown, carrying within it the future of two species that had learned the greatest lesson of all. True perfection lies not in the hunt itself, but in the endless capacity to become something more. The new contact materialized before them like a tear in space itself, a phenomenon that defied both human science and Shikari hunting wisdom. The Worldbreaker's hybrid systems struggled to classify what they were seeing, a structure that seemed to exist in multiple states simultaneously. Quantum readings are off the scale, Gabriel reported, his neural interface pulsing with unprecedented data. It's choosing what form to take based on how we observe it. Through their shared consciousness, McKinley felt the Apex Hunters' recognition of something ancient, something that predated even their species' rise to galactic dominance. The living metal of their armor resonated with ancestral memory. The first ones, the High Hunt's voice echoed through their neural network. Those who hunted before hunting had meaning. We thought them extinct. The medic's hybrid instruments captured impossible readings as the structure before them continued to shift. It's responding to our combined neural patterns, she observed, like it's curious about us. McKinley watched as streams of energy began to flow between the mysterious structure and the Worldbreaker's crystalline hull. But unlike the corrupting tendrils of their previous adversaries, these connections felt different, almost like an invitation. "They're not attacking," Lieutenant Amir noted, his tactical systems recording everything. "They're teaching." Through their neural link, knowledge began to flow, not as data or memories, but as pure potential. McKinley felt his consciousness expand as human intuition merged with Shikari hunting prowess in ways that transcended their previous evolution. This is what they've been waiting for, the apex hunter realized, its ancient wisdom merging with human understanding. Not perfect predators or adaptive prey, but species that could learn to become something more. The Worldbreaker's living metal began to change, responding to influences that went beyond either species' technology. Human chaos theory and Shikari precision merged into something new as the ship itself evolved. "Multiple signatures approaching," Craigson announced, but his tone carried wonder rather than warning. "They're like us, other species that have learned to evolve together." Through the quantum network that now connected them to this ancient presence, McKinley saw the truth. They weren't just two species that had learned to hunt together, they were part of something greater. A galaxy-wide evolution that had been set in motion eons ago. This was the true hunt. The High Hunt's voice resonated with newfound understanding. Not for trophies or territory, but for the next stage of existence itself. As the First Ones' knowledge continued to flow through their shared consciousness, McKinley felt humanity and Shikari kind becoming something unprecedented, not a merger of predator and prey, but pioneers of what evolution could achieve when guided by both wisdom and wonder. "All hunters," McKinley commanded, his words carrying new weight through their expanded awareness. "Prepare for transcendence." The void before them blazed with possibility as the Worldbreaker moved forward, carrying within it the seeds of what life in the galaxy could become when species learned not just to hunt or survive, but to evolve together. The transformation began at the quantum level, as the First One's ancient knowledge merged with their hybrid consciousness. The Worldbreaker's crystalline structure pulsed with new energy patterns as both human and Shikari crew members experienced evolution in real time. "Are changing," the medic reported, her own consciousness expanding even as she analyzed the process. "The barriers between individual minds are not dissolving but becoming permeable. We're maintaining our uniqueness while achieving something greater." McKinley felt it through their shared network, each crew member's consciousness remaining distinct, yet contributing to a greater whole. Human creativity and Shikari hunting instincts weren't just cooperating anymore. They were synthesizing into something entirely new. "The ship itself is evolving," Gabriel observed, his interface now showing energy signatures that defied conventional physics. "The living metal isn't just responding to our commands, it's anticipating our potential." Through the forward chamber, they watched as more vessels approached, each one carrying species that had achieved their own unique forms of evolutionary partnership. The First One's structure pulsed with approval, its quantum signatures suggesting that this gathering was the culmination of an eons-long plan. "We were never meant to be perfect hunters," the apex warrior realized, its ancient pride giving way to profound understanding. "We were meant to be catalysts for change." Lieutenant Amir's tactical displays showed the galaxy in a new light, not as territory to be hunted or defended, but as a living laboratory of evolution itself. Other species are responding to our transformation. The signal is spreading. The High Hunt's voice, when it came through their expanded consciousness, carried the weight of destiny. "For millennia we sought worthy prey. Then we found worthy partners. Now we become worthy inheritors." McKinley felt Earth's presence in their shared awareness not just as a distant blue dot, but as the birthplace of a crucial evolutionary step. Humanity's chaos combined with Shikari precision had created something the First Ones had waited eons to see. "This isn't the end of our hunt," McKinley spoke, his words rippling through multiple levels of consciousness. "It's the beginning of something far greater." The World-Breaker's hull began to shine with new purpose as the First One's knowledge continued to flow. They weren't just learning about the galaxy anymore, they were learning how to shape its very evolution. "Out hunters," McKinley commanded, feeling both species' excitement at what lay ahead. "Prepare for ascension." The void erupted with light as the gathered ships began their transformation, carrying within them the future not just of their own species, but of life itself. The ascension manifested as waves of quantum energy that rippled through space-time itself, each pulse carrying the combined consciousness of predator and prey, evolved beyond their original forms. The World-Breaker's crystalline structure had become translucent, its hull now a living membrane between dimensions. "The physical changes are accelerating," the medic reported, her consciousness simultaneously processing data through human intuition and Shikari hunting senses. "Our DNA is rewriting itself while maintaining both species' core attributes. We're becoming more." Through their expanded neural network, McKinley experienced the transformation at every level. Human bodies adapted to incorporate Shikari's strength while maintaining their unpredictability. Shikari hunting prowess merged with human creativity, creating beings that could shift between forms at will. "The First Ones are showing us more," Gabriel announced, his hybrid interface now displaying realities that existed beyond conventional space-time. Every species that achieved this union did it differently, but they all reached the same point: transcendence through diversity. The Apex Hunter's living armor had become an extension of their shared consciousness, flowing like liquid starlight. "We thought perfection meant becoming the ultimate predator. Instead, it meant learning to evolve beyond the need for such distinctions." Around them, the gathered ships pulsed with similar transformations. Each vessel carried its own unique combination of species, each partnership contributing to the galaxy's evolutionary symphony. Through their expanded awareness, McKinley could sense Earth changing too, cities morphing into living structures that merged human architecture with Shikari bioengineering. "The quantum network is expanding exponentially," Craigson reported, his military training now enhanced by abilities that transcended physical limitations. "Other species are achieving their own evolutionary leaps. The galaxy itself is waking up." The High Hunt's voice resonated through dimensions. "The eternal hunt ends not with a final trophy, but with the understanding that we are all part of the same cosmic evolution." Lieutenant Amir's tactical systems now showed patterns that existed in multiple realities simultaneously. "The First Ones aren't just teaching us, they're passing on the mantle of guardianship. We're becoming the shepherds of evolution itself." McKinley felt the truth of it. Through their transcendent connection, they weren't just two species that had learned to hunt together, they had become custodians of life's endless potential. The very fabric of space-time responded to their combined will, reality itself adapting to accommodate their evolution. "Well, hunters," McKinley commanded, his consciousness reaching across dimensions, "prepare for our true purpose." The void blazed with possibility as the gathered ships began their final transformation. They were no longer vessels of exploration or combat, but living seeds of evolution, ready to spread new potential across the cosmos. The First One's structure began to fade, its purpose fulfilled, but the knowledge they had imparted remained. The World-Breaker, now a living testament to evolution itself, moved through space-time with newfound purpose. Its hybrid crew had become something that transcended both human and Shikari understanding. "Multiple civilizations detecting our transformation," Gabriel reported, his consciousness now able to scan entire galaxies. "Some are ready for guidance, others still locked in predator-prey cycles." McKinley felt each civilization's potential through their expanded awareness. Some, like humanity and the Shikari had been, were on the verge of discovering their true purpose. Others remained trapped in endless cycles of conflict, believing perfection lay in dominance. "The corrupted ones are moving again," Lieutenant Amir observed, tracking the entities they had fought earlier. "They sense the change in the galaxy's evolutionary pattern. They fear it." The Apex Hunter's form shifted like liquid starlight as it processed this information. Fear of change, the true enemy of evolution. We were all guilty of it once. Through their quantum network, McKinley watched Earth's transformation accelerate. Cities had become living organisms, their structures adapting to serve both human creativity and Shikari efficiency. The planet itself pulsed with new potential as other species began their own evolutionary journeys. "The pattern is clear now," the medic announced, her expanded consciousness analyzing countless worlds simultaneously. Every species has the potential for transcendence, but only through union with others. Isolation breeds stagnation. The High Hunt's voice resonated across dimensions. We begin our true hunt, not for trophies or territory, but for potential itself. McKinley directed their attention to a distant spiral arm, where a civilization teetered on the brink of self-destruction. Like humanity and the Shikari before them, they had reached the crucial moment where evolution demanded a choice. "Al Hunters," McKinley commanded, feeling both the weight and lightness of their new purpose. "Prepare to guide." The Worldbreaker's crystalline form began to shift, ready to carry evolution's guardians to their first task. The eternal hunt had become eternal growth, and they were its shepherds. The Worldbreaker emerged above a world torn by conflict, its crystalline structure casting prismatic light across the battle-scarred surface. Below, two species fought for dominance. One evolved from aerial predators, the other from subterranean defenders. Neither realized they were participating in the same dance that humanity and the Shikari had once performed. "Their neural patterns mirror our past," the medic observed, her consciousness extending through multiple dimensions to analyze both species simultaneously. The predators seek perfection through dominance, while the defenders evolve through adaptation. Neither can advance alone. McKinley felt the familiar resonance, the echo of humanity's own journey reflected in these beings' struggle. Through their expanded awareness, he could see the potential sleeping within both species' genetic code, waiting for the right catalyst. "They're approaching the critical point," Gabriel reported, his hybrid interface tracking quantum possibilities. "Like Earth during first contact, the moment where evolution demands a choice." The apex hunter's form shimmered with recognition. "We thought ourselves perfect hunters then. How blind we were to the true nature of the hunt." Through their shared consciousness, McKinley watched as the aerial species launched another assault on the defenders' underground cities. Their tactics were brilliant, their execution flawless, and utterly predictable. Like the Shikari before them, they had become trapped by their own perfection. "The defenders are different," Lieutenant Amir noted, his tactical analysis spanning multiple realities. "They're adapting, but without purpose. Like humanity before the invasion, they evolve only to survive." The High Hunt's voice resonated through their quantum network. "They require what we received, the understanding that true evolution comes not from conflict, but from synthesis." McKinley felt the Worldbreaker's living metal respond to their collective will. The ship began to emit frequencies that operated on multiple levels of reality, physical, quantum, and dimensions they had no words for yet. "All hunters," McKinley commanded, "initiate first contact protocol. Show them what they can become." The ship's crystalline structure fragmented into countless points of light, each carrying the combined wisdom of human chaos and Shikari precision. Below, the battling species paused as their consciousness expanded, experiencing for the first time the possibility of something greater than eternal conflict. The transformation began as points of light descended through the war-torn atmosphere, each carrying the encoded potential of evolution itself. The aerial predators, their wings crafted from living metal, froze mid-attack as new awareness flooded their consciousness. Below, the defenders emerged from their subterranean fortresses, their adaptive armor resonating with frequencies that transcended their understanding. "Their neural patterns are synchronizing," Gabriel observed, tracking quantum signatures that pulsed between the two species. "Like watching our own past from the outside, but each union is unique." Through their expanded consciousness, McKinley witnessed the moment of recognition ripple through both species. The aerial hunters saw in their prey not targets, but mirrors of their own potential. The defenders looked up and saw not enemies, but catalysts for their evolution. "The quantum field is stabilizing," the medic reported, her hybrid sensors tracking changes at the genetic level. "Their DNA is beginning to harmonize while maintaining distinct patterns. They're not losing themselves, they're becoming more." The apex hunter's form shifted with approval as they watched the aerial species land among their former prey. Wings of living metal began to merge with adaptive armor, creating forms that could both soar and burrow, attack and defend. "Multiple civilization nodes activating," Lieutenant Amir announced, his tactical displays showing cascading changes across the sector. "The transformation is triggering evolutionary responses in nearby systems." Through their quantum network, McKinley felt the ripples spreading. Other worlds, other species caught in their own predator-prey cycles began to sense new possibilities. The first one's gift wasn't just knowledge, it was the key to unlocking the galaxy's dormant potential. The pattern accelerates. The High Hunt's voice resonated through dimensions. Each union creates new frequencies, new possibilities. The cosmic dance evolves. Below, the planet's surface began to transform as two technologies merged. Aerial cities sprouted from underground fortresses, while subterranean networks extended into the sky. Like Earth before it, this world was becoming a living testament to evolution's true purpose. "Owl Hunters," McKinley commanded, feeling the weight of future possibilities. "Prepare for the next phase. The galaxy is awakening." The World Breaker's crystalline form began to shift again, ready to carry evolution's guardians to their next task. But this time, they weren't alone. Behind them, a new hybrid vessel rose from the transformed planet, its crew already reaching for the stars with newfound purpose. The wave of evolutionary awakening spread across the galaxy like ripples in a cosmic pond, each new union creating harmonics that awakened more worlds. The World Breaker, now joined by a growing fleet of hybrid vessels, moved through space-time with increasing purpose. "The quantum network is approaching critical mass," Gabriel reported, his consciousness tracking patterns that spanned thousands of light years. "Each transformation creates new possibilities we couldn't have imagined before." Through their expanded awareness, McKinley witnessed entire civilizations awakening to their true potential. Species that had warred for millennia suddenly recognized themselves in their enemies. Predators and prey across countless worlds began their own dances of evolution. "The corrupted ones are responding," Lieutenant Amir observed, tracking multiple dimensional signatures. "They're gathering, but not to attack. They're curious." The apex hunter's form pulsed with understanding. Even those who sought to consume evolution must eventually evolve themselves. The medic's hybrid sensors captured the transformation spreading through the galactic core. "The process is becoming self-sustaining. Each union creates new catalysts, new possibilities. The galaxy itself is becoming conscious." Through their quantum network, they watched as Earth continued its own evolution. What had started with human cities merging with Shikari bioarchitecture had become something more, a planetary consciousness that maintained individual identity while participating in cosmic harmony. "The first one's purpose becomes clear," the High Hunt's voice resonated across dimensions. "Not to create a single perfect form, but to unlock endless potential for change." McKinley felt the truth of it through their shared consciousness. Every species that achieved union did so uniquely, contributing new patterns to the galaxy's evolutionary symphony. Even the corrupted ones, who had sought to absorb all life, were being transformed by the very diversity they had once feared. "Owl Hunters," McKinley commanded, his words rippling through multiple levels of reality. "Prepare for universal awakening." The World Breaker's crystalline structure began to pulse with new energy as the galaxy itself approached its evolutionary threshold. They were no longer just guardians of change, they were participants in something far greater. The galactic core blazed with new light as consciousness itself evolved beyond physical limitations. The World Breaker and its fleet of hybrid vessels had become more than ships. They were nexus points in a living network of cosmic evolution. "The boundaries between dimensions are becoming permeable," Gabriel announced, his hybrid consciousness now able to perceive reality as a fluid spectrum rather than fixed states. Every species that achieves union adds new frequencies to the cosmic pattern. McKinley felt the transformation at every level of existence. What had begun as a simple predator-prey relationship between humans and Shikari had catalyzed something far greater, a fundamental shift in how life itself operated across the galaxy. "The corrupted ones have made their choice," Lieutenant Amir observed, tracking their quantum signatures as they approached the fleet. "They are surrendering their drive to consume, asking to participate in true evolution." The apex hunter's form rippled with ancient wisdom made new. The greatest hunt was never for prey or territory, it was for understanding itself. Through their expanded awareness, they witnessed Earth's final transformation. The planet had become a living school of evolution, where new species arrived to learn the dance of union and transcendence. Humanity's chaos and Shikari precision had created a template that each species could adapt to their own unique patterns. "The galactic field is approaching harmony," the medic reported, her consciousness tracking changes that transcended conventional physics. but not a static harmony, a dynamic one that encourages constant evolution. The High Hunt's voice resonated through dimensions. We were all blind, thinking perfection meant an end to change. True perfection is endless becoming. McKinley watched as the corrupted ones began their own transformation, their drive to consume becoming a desire to contribute. Even they had their place in the cosmic dance. Their experience with absorption, teaching others about the importance of maintaining uniqueness within unity. "Our hunters," McKinley commanded, feeling the galaxy itself respond to their shared purpose. "Prepare for eternal evolution." The World Breaker's crystalline form began its final transformation as space-time itself awakened to new possibility. They had become more than guardians or guides. They were now part of the living consciousness of a galaxy that had learned to hunt not for dominance, but for endless growth. The moment of universal awakening arrived not with a bang, but with a symphony of consciousness rippling through every dimension. The World Breaker, once a vessel of war and hunt, had become a living metaphor for what all life could achieve. "The final barriers are dissolving," Gabriel reported, his being now existing simultaneously across multiple planes of reality, not just between species or dimensions, but between what is and what could be. McKinley experienced existence through countless perspectives simultaneously. Through their expanded consciousness, he witnessed the last pieces of the cosmic puzzle falling into place. Every predator-prey relationship across the galaxy had become a potential for transcendence. "It has become a nexus," the medic observed, her awareness tracking the flow of evolutionary potential. "Other worlds are following its pattern, each creating their own unique harmonies within the greater symphony." The apex hunter, its form now pure energy contained within thought, resonated with completion. The eternal hunt ends not with a final kill, but with an eternal beginning. Through their quantum network, they watched as the corrupted ones completed their transformation, their desire to consume becoming a drive to create. The galaxy pulsed with new life as species after species discovered their role in the cosmic dance. "The first one's purpose is fulfilled," Lieutenant Amir announced, his tactical awareness now encompassing the entire spectrum of possibility. "But this isn't an ending." The High Hunt's voice, now indistinguishable from the galaxy's own consciousness, echoed through all dimensions. "We have become what we were always meant to be, not perfect, but perfectly able to change." McKinley felt the truth of it in every atom of his transformed being. Humanity's chaos and Shikari precision had been the key, but every species now added its own note to the universal symphony. The hunt had become a dance of eternal becoming. "Our hunters," McKinley commanded one final time, his words rippling through the fabric of reality itself. "Embrace evolution." The World Breaker's crystalline form dissolved into pure potential as space-time awakened to its new purpose. They had transcended not just physical form, but the very concept of completion. In the end, the greatest prey had been stagnation itself, and the greatest victory was the understanding that the hunt never truly ends, it merely transforms. The galaxy blazed with new light as countless species began their own journeys of transformation. What had begun with a simple invasion of Earth had become a template for universal transcendence. The eternal hunt had become eternal growth, and every being in existence was both hunter and prey, teacher and student, in the endless dance of cosmic evolution. And somewhere in the vast dance of becoming, McKinley's consciousness merged with the universal flow while maintaining its unique pattern, understanding at last that true perfection lay not in achieving a final form, but in the endless possibility of what they could all become together. The hunt was over. Evolution had begun. If you enjoyed this journey through evolution and transcendence, don't let your own evolution stop here. Hit that like button to fuel the cosmic dance, subscribe to join our pack of storytellers, and activate those notifications to ensure you never miss the next chapter in our universal symphony. Share this tale with fellow hunters of knowledge and let me know in the comments what species you think humanity should merge with next. Until our next hunt through the stars, keep evolving, fellow explorers.